we anticipated?
Yes.
Yeah, the cube root of -8 we would think would be -2 from our experience with real numbers. After I go another 120 degrees, where do I wind up?
300.
300, so another root, my drawing is terrible, is 2 cis 300, and there's 120 degrees between these answers as well.
There's 100.
So if you take, wow. Okay, thank you. So my three answers are 2 cis 60, 2 cis 180, and lastly, 2 cis 300. I have three answers. Yes?
When are you going to tell us that there's a shorter way to write it all?
There actually isn't in this case. Sorry. For once, I'm not. I know that is my pattern, isn't it? But yeah, that is.
I feel like there would be a way to write like 260 or 260 and put like
Plus 120n or something.
Yeah.
N equals 1 to 3. You could do it, but honestly, I think that's more work than
I'm
it's
saying
worth.
like you have like something to like the 50th.
Oh, if I asked you for a 50th root?
Yeah.
Yeah, then it would probably be worth it to write. I'm not going to ask you for a 50th root because you'll probably get this on a non-calculator test. But if someone did ask you for the 50th root, 300, that would be, I'd find that decimal, and it would be plus n times that number, n equals 1 to 50. I would write that somewhere rather than write them all out. That's a good point. I'll give you some like fifth roots. I'll give you space to write them. Now let's check it. Let's do another real one, then another complex one. See if you guys get it. So on the, yes?
Do you think I should start a new page? Because I have like 10 lines left, but I don't want to like waste part of the page.
If you do my next two examples in columns and don't graph, you should be fine. If you want to draw the graph, you're gonna. Okay. So, whoa, wrong thing. I almost wrote 14. That would be bad. Fourth roots of 16. Two. Very good. I was about to ask if anyone knew what that was with real numbers. Okay. So what one? So in polar form, Megan, what's one answer you'll anticipate?
You're not so quick now, are you?
Stop. 2 cis 0. Does -2 also work?
Yes.
So 2 cis 180 would be another one I'd anticipate.
And the other one's going to be it.
The top. Yeah. Okay. So Parker's got the idea of this one, but let's work this out a little bit. So what we're doing is we're actually finding the fourth root of 16 cis 0. So this is the fourth root of 16 cis 0 over 4.
Wait, why is it 16?
Because 16 is a real number, and real numbers are either cis 0 if they're positive or cis 180 if they're negative.
Oh.
Just a way of saying they're on the x-axis. That's where all the real numbers are. Thank you for asking. I should be very clear about that. So my first answer is the one Megan gave me in real form, and Parker gave me in polar form, 2 cis 0. My other answers are spread evenly around the coordinate plane. Now this is one we might be able to do without a graph. Where are all these points? What would you say they're on?
90 degrees apart from each other.
They're 90 degrees apart from each other. They're on the axes. So if you don't even want to graph it, I would say the next answer is 2 cis 90, as Johannes was telling me. 2 cis 180. And 2 cis 270.
There's no real angle, so how do you know?
Pardon?
How do you know like how to evenly space?
Well, you always take, good point. You always take 360 divided by the number of roots. And that's what you add to your first answer until you've gone all the way around a circle. Hardest thing I'll ask you to do without a calculator is a fifth root. That's about the hardest thing I'll ask you to do without a calculator. And with a calculator, it might get a little uglier. So these are my four answers.
72?
Pardon?
360.
So divided by 5 is 72.
That's a 9.
Yeah, so remember that 360 divided by 5 is 72 if you can't do long division on a test. That's a big hit.
Okay.
Memorize that fact tonight. 2 cis 0, 2 cis 90, 2 cis
It's going to
180.
be on the test.
The Morpheus theorem? Yeah, it's the last new thing that will be on the test. This is your last new thing of calendar year 2010.
Yes.
Any questions on De Moivre's theorem? This is my favorite theorem. I don't know why. I just think this is the coolest thing ever.
I called you a wizard.
Wait,
And now-
He's in
Yeah, I'm going to do one more where we don't
You're
start
Harry
with a
Potter.
real number.
No, he's Dumbledore.
No, he's a nerdy wizard. He's Harry Potter. Don't
Nerdy
the cool
wizard.
one.
No,
And-
no,
Okay. As long as I'm not the defensive dark arts teachers, because those guys are gone every year.
That's what I'm saying. First
That job is like an ejector seat.
The fact that you know that, I don't know whether to respect you or mock you.
All right.
You haven't seen the Harry Potter movies?
No, I have.
I always want to mock him.
But
Then you
Appreciate
should
that.
know.
Okay, guys, one last example. We're almost done.
No,
Find,
Mr. B.
hang on a sec. Find all the, just going to say third roots of 64 cis 30 degrees.
That's 4.
Very good. Girl knows her roots.
Hell.
So yeah, that was impressive. All right, so it's going to be the cube root of 64 cis 30 over 3. So the first answer, and only the first answer, is, as Megan did frighteningly quickly, 4. Megan, 30 divided by 3.
10.
10. Okay, it was still a little,
I did it
It was
faster.
still a little slower than your cube root, which is...
Rising.
All right, it's the third root, so how many answers are we looking for?
3, and
Three.
they're all 120 degrees away from.
And they're all 120 degrees away from each other. 360 divided by 3 is
We just
120.
did that.
So the next one is 4 cis
130.
130. Very good. Add 120.
And
the next
250,
one,
right?
yep, 4 cis 250 degrees. Call it a day.
Wow.
Okay, let's call it.
Actually, we can, and I can give you the homework.
Let's
Stop.
Okay, so the homework is,
Mr. Bello?
Do you want
yes, it's page 696, 54 to 76 even. There's a little bit of thinking ones at the end. You may have to convert back and forth to rectangular. There's a couple at the end that I'm intentionally leaving for you to think about, and I can't wait for you to ask me about them after you have struggled with them. All right?
Thanks.
Happily.
Do you want me to
Why
Yeah,
can't
kill
you
it.